Hello, welcome to the Sense and Sensibility podcast, where we teach students about financial literacy and how to improve their financial health. Today on this episode, we have Nathaniel Gurma, a York University graduate, a wealth management agent, and the founder of iMedia. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
It's good to be here. It's good to be able to talk about important financial topics, especially with the youth. So I'm so excited to be here and to delve more into the topic.
Great. So I guess starting with the first question, we'll just start it off with what are some key tips or advice you would give for students who want to better their financial situation and start those good habits of financial literacy?
Yes, definitely. I think the thing that first comes to mind is budgeting. Because often we don't know what's coming into our accounts and what's coming out of our accounts, right? A lot of us have subscriptions that we've forgotten about, gym memberships, Netflixes, different types of things that we didn't think we were still subscribed to and we're paying unnecessary amounts. A lot of us also work part-time hours while we're in school, right? And because of that, we don't know exactly how much money is coming in within a certain time period. So really being able to open that up and understand what's coming in and what's going out. And once you have a solid idea of that, really trying to minimize your expenses and maximize your earnings. Find out areas where you could put in more shifts, or you could find a second job or a second hobby that is able to pay you. So budgeting is extremely important. The second thing I would recommend is starting to build a good credit history and a good credit report. So a lot of us, is coming from students, we've always used cash and debits growing up, and credit really allows us to really expand our buying potential. And often now, with as little as $500 worth of credit, you can really start to practice good spending habits and being able to pay that off on time. And along with that, building that good history will allow you in the future, when you get bigger loans, to buy that first new nice car, to buy that first home, allow you to have an excellent credit score, which will allow you to pay a lot less in interest, which will help you tons in the future. So those are two things that come to mind when I think of tips for that.
Yeah, that's some great advice. That's like the basis, right? It's money in, money out. And then everything after that is finding ways to grow your money, right? So I think a lot of people know this kind of things. What is one kind of investment vehicle you would recommend for a young person to get into that's maybe not too complex, like, especially students who maybe don't have that much time to study all the stock market or this and that? What is something that someone could get into that could really benefit them in the future, while they have time on their side and they're young and they might not even be a business student, but in any field, what would you recommend?
Definitely, that's an excellent question, because often as young people we're exposed to, high risk, high yield types of investments, stuff like crypto, stuff like high index stocks, and those that, while they're great and they have a lot of upside, often they're not the best financial decision just because of the risk involved with that. What I would really recommend is looking into life insurance, right? It's one of the most important things when you're thinking about financial health, because you as an individual are the most important financial asset in your life, right? So a lot of people hear about insurance and think, listen, this is like car insurance. It's insurance that I'm giving away. It's money that I'm giving away that I never get back unless I'm in an accident, right? But the difference with life insurance is there is often, with the premiums, only 20% of the money you're putting in is going into premiums. That 80+% is going into a stock portfolio, which basically, because you pay it every month, it's dollar cost averaging, which is another extremely beneficial, financial decision. So that's what I would recommend, an investment vehicle that's not really talked about, life insurance policy with investments within it.
Yes, that's great advice. Actually, on our first episode, our guest actually spoke a little bit about it, and especially now, like you mentioned, with the crypto market, Bitcoin's having a bull market right now, if anyone's in that. But those things, there's bull and bear markets, right? So sometimes it's doing very well, but like there's times it's not as stable, right? So definitely planning for the future is something that we often don't think about as younger, because we're just trying to enjoy our 20s. But I think it's very important to really start at a young age and build that history and build that good habits. So as time grows, that money is going to grow, and then it's just going to put you in a good kind of mindset, right? Where you're not just spending money, you're investing for the future. So kind of go a little bit more into depth into that. I guess what are like some of the things that most people don't know about life insurance and how it can really help them?
Yes, definitely. Even when we're talking about life insurance, we also need to think about long-term investments in general. A lot of us, like you said, crypto's currently on a bull run, right? And that's an investment that can make a lot of money and there's a lot of upside there. But when it comes to life insurance and things that are often not talked about, another product that is also extremely important is something called CI, which stands for critical illness insurance, right? So this basically means a list of 25 different illnesses on a policy in which you're able, if you have this illness, if you're diagnosed, the doctor sends the note in, you're able to get a large lump sum of payment. What this allows you to do is basically take time off work so you can make sure you get yourself better, right? And with the statistics coming out, the current health trend, Statistics Canada released a health study that said 40% of Canadians will get one type of cancer within their lifetime. So that 4 out of every 10 people will get a cancer, right? There's a bunch of different other illnesses, heart disease, arthritis, there's multiple different things, autoimmune disease that we don't talk about. And like I said, what is the most common saying we hear? Health is wealth, right? So if you're not investing into protecting the first vehicle of financial production, which is yourself, you can't even start to think about stocks. You can't start to think about different skills if you're not protecting yourself. So CI is something that everyone should really look into, and it can often also be bundled with investment options in which you're only paying 10% of the premium to CI and 90% into other long-term investments. So that's another thing I could recommend.
Yes, that's great advice. Another question I think I would like to ask, and a lot of people might be curious, is like, what are some bad advice or like things people should stay away from in terms of just the whole insurance or investing, and how should people properly educate themselves? What are maybe some books they could read, or maybe YouTube channels that you would personally consume, or some books that you've read that can educate people about financial literacy in general?
Some things to avoid would definitely be, unnecessary spending. So you want to minimize the expenses that you're putting out. Often a large amount of money, especially as young people, goes into the clothes we wear. We're always trying to impress people with the newest streetwear that's out or with other designer brands, right? So often if you're just looking into fashion, you could go to thrift shops, you can go to different places with discounted rates to get those designer and nice looking clothes at a better cost, right? Another thing is eating out. If you wanted to make a sandwich at home, that's like $3, all ingredients put together, and it takes you maybe 2 minutes. If you want that same sandwich from McDonald's, that's $7, $9, $10, whatever it might be, and inflation's making it more and more and more, right? So just simple decisions like that would leave you with hundreds of dollars at the end of the month. Those hundreds of dollars can actually go into stocks, can go into improving your skill set, learning how to code, learning different skill sets in the market that will pay you more. So it's all about plugging up all of those leaks and using that extra capital that you have to invest into skills, to invest into higher yielding financial assets.
Yes, that's some great advice. We'll just take a short break to hear from our partner podcast.
What's going on, beautiful people? If you could hear my voice or see my face, just know you're in the right place. It's Anton from the Degree to Dollars podcast, where we show you how to turn your degree into dollars. Whether you're about to graduate or you graduated already, tune in for expert advice and learn from those who experience life. We share tips about navigating the job market and how to negotiate salaries and so much more. Tune in to degreetodollars.ca or find us on your favorite streaming platforms. Degree to Dollars. Come listen.
Can you give us like 3 books that you've read? Because I know we're both big readers, but specifically a business or investments that you would recommend the students to read.
Definitely. So I think a one that everyone knows is Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that is really about changing your mindset from only being an employee, trading your time for money, to becoming a business owner, to trading your money from time, right? And having exponential time, exponential money. So that's a very important one. The other one I would recommend is called Atomic Habits, because habits are so important in terms of building consistent financial income. So understanding how to get 1% better each day from this book would be a great asset as well. And the third one I would give would be Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. This is the basic book that Warren Buffett, someone who's worth more than 200 billion, his mentor wrote this book. So it has all the basics of the stock market, all the basics of dollar cost averaging. So Atomic Habits, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and The Intelligent Investor are the three top books I could recommend for your first three reads.
Great. I think we'll kind of wrap it up here. Is there anything you'd like to, if people want to connect with you more and learn a little bit more about your business or just stay connected, where can they find you?
Yeah, definitely. So you can always search up my LinkedIn, Nathaniel Girma. So Nathaniel with an A, Girma. You can also search up on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, iMedia, in which I talk about motivation and other topics in how to elevate your financial and self-improvement. Those would be the best places to contact me and to find out more about me.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.